Hello, friends. Good evening. Jai Hind. I am Major Mohammed Ali Shah, and I am going to be having the pleasure and delight of being in conversation with a renowned scholar, academician of our country, who has been the former chancellor of the MANUU. MANUU is the Maulana Azad Urdu National University in Hyderabad. He has been a teacher and holds a very fine reputation in the academic circles. I've had the honor of being with him on several television panels. And let me come across straight to him and ask a renowned academician what would be his views on the current Israel Palestine conflict where Hamas has stepped in. And in fact, let's see what he has to say. Sir, Jai Hind and good evening, sir.
Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you so much, Major Dr. Mohammed Ali Shah, for considering me for this very serious topic. Um, you talked about this conflict between Israel and Palestine, or in other words, Israel and the entire Arab world, except a few countries. Now, I will be giving you certain views which are based, on what I have been observing since my childhood personally. Of course, yes, political, nitty-gritty would obviously will be there, and whatever is happening today, those inputs will be there. But this will be a summum bonum of what, as an individual, as a citizen of the world, I have been observing in this troubled and very, in fact, unstable area that is Middle East. You see. Let me begin, from this um, place when the Jews, when they were massacred by the Germans, right? And that was also very sad. I've seen, I've been to Warsaw, Poland. I've seen those factories where Jews were put inside the furnaces. One side live person, and the other side, the bones, and in fact, nothing got remained. So all those things are very disastrous, very terrible. So ultimately, the world thought United Nations and all the well-meaning people that the Jews who were left, in fact, they should be settled at one place, and the place that was decided for them to settle was what you call today's Palestine or West Bank. That area was there. All right, fine. They came here, they settled, but unfortunately, what happened was that the land that was given to them, in fact, it was rather a grabbed land from the Palestinians. And all right, I mean, there were no international treaties. Even the United Nations at that time did not trigger well to create some kind of balance. Ultimately, what happened was okay, Jews settled there. Jews are also our brothers, they are also humans. And they started in fact, benefiting from that place, from that area. They became a very, militarily a very powerful state, right? Supported by America and many other European countries. It is all right. Any country has the right to be militarily strong, right? As India is militarily strong by the grace of God. However, the problem occurred when these people started moving towards uh, what we call today West Bank. They occupied all those colonies. Jews and Arabs. They live in this area where there is bombardment today. That is uh, Gaza or Gaza, whatever you call it. And the more there was encroachment from the side of Israelis, the more the trouble was there. You see, when Englishmen were occupying India, obviously Indians were not happy. A day came when India got freed herself, right? In the same way, these Palestinians, whose land was given to Israelis, they also nurture the similar kind of feelings which the Indians actually had against the English. Now, there were major wars These major wars took place in 48, 1948, and 67 also. And in these wars, all these Muslim countries, or the so-called Arab countries, they got together, but they could not defeat Israel. Militarily, Israel became very strong, obviously because of the support of countries like USA, France, Germany, UK, and what you call NATO today. Every time there was a war, territory was lost, and these poor Palestinians, they actually were pushed behind. They did not have those kind of human rights which they should have. So ultimately, this is a kind of an accumulation from 1948 till date, till previous, I think, Saturday, when all this conflict started, all these rockets were fired at Israel. Again, I am saying before I complete this question, this answer within 5 to 10 seconds, that violence from any side, whether it is from the side of Hamas, or whether it is from the side of Israel, it is not the solution. And war at any cost can never be a solution.
So, the action of Hamas, do you think those would be detrimental for Palestine? Because now Hamas, there have been videos which have emerged and images that have emerged where Hamas has been brutally killing innocent civilians in Israel. So, do you think that's going to be detrimental for Palestine?
Yes, it's a very sensitive question, uh, Dr. Shah, because you know what? See, if you kill innocent people, if you take away the women and the children and the girls away, and one uh, German girl, she was very horridly uh, treated. I mean, anything or everything is happening which is against humanity by these Hamas people, which they should not have been doing. First thing. Second thing is that if Hamas thinks that yes, Israel has been wreaking all these kinds of disasters upon them, and they should take some revenge. I think this is not the right thing, right? There are lobbies. There are some countries. Maybe it is Iran. Maybe it is Lebanon, or many Arab countries that might thump their chest that yes, oh, for the first time, the Palestinians have shown what they can do. But I believe this violence in any way cannot be supported. Those poor civilians in Israel, on the roads of Israel, those girls, those women, innocent women, and I saw some very terrible. Everything comes to the world through the university of what we call WhatsApp. I saw some kids, small kids, in some kind of a prison. It was not a prison. I think it was uh, some place where animals are kept, and some people were laughing at them. This is too much. And you asked me a question. Now, the proper answer to your question: will it be detrimental for Palestine? Yes, it will be detrimental for Palestine. Hamas has taken what they must have been on their side calling a bold step, but it's a disastrous step, it's a detrimental step, and it will augur uh, horrid, uh, horrible, terrible. It will augur very terribly, not only for Hamas, not only for the entire Palestinians, but all those countries that support Hamas, right? And let me tell you, how it all began. You must have heard the name of Yasser Arafat. He was a big
Of course,
activist.
PLO, the
Yes,
Palestinian
Yasser
Liberation
Arafat. Yes,
Organization.
yes, yes. And there was Leila Khalid also. There were certain other big activists, from the backing of the army. I mean, these people actually got together and they said Israel has been wreaking havoc upon the Palestinians. I was reading somewhere in some newspaper. It was written that 150,000 Palestinians have been killed. Uh, you know, uh, as far as the raids by Israeli F-16 airplanes and their army is concerned. So I mean, this is, and what the take of Hamas is, and also Iran is, that all these years from 1968, 1967, right from 2008, all these poor and innocent, unassuming Palestinians were being killed. The world was silent, and these firings by Hamas, these rocket firings by Hamas, they were just to wake up the world that is silent on their issue. I am saying I am not supporting Hamas, right? But what Palestine's president says, he's right that the world should now wake up. What what Palestinians have gone through all these years, right? All those Palestinians and Arabs who live in Gaza Strip on the side of Israel, little love is lost between Israelis and Palestinians and Arabs who live there. But unfortunately, because of uh, these incidents on both sides, right? Whether these are the Scud missile attacks of Iraq and Israel, Iraq, or it was, I think, yes, between Iraq and Israel that the war was fought, or whatever it is. So, lot of, or maybe between Syria and Israel, between, at one time Jordan also came to be targeted by Israel. Now, Israel should also think that as they are humans, in the same way Palestinians are also humans. The kind of excesses they have been wreaking upon them, people praying in Al Aqsa Mosque, people going there, they have been shot at by the Israeli army and policemen. I mean, there are terror stories, more terror stories. Of course, what Hamas did is not to be accepted at any cost, but the kind of terror stories that you see, which actually happen on the side of Palestinians, those are also unacceptable, devilish, demonizing, inhuman, right? But Hamas will suffer. Hamas is nothing in front of this highly militarized Israeli state. US forces have landed there. Already 1 lakh plus army men of Israel are there in that area, right? Countries like Egypt, they are silent. They will not, in fact, be on any side because they have suffered a huge defeat. You know, I, this war was, I think, 7 or 8 day war. General Saab, you can correct me, when they fought in 1967 under General Nasser, right? So maybe I think UAE and Saudi Arab have also accepted Israel, the existence of Israel. It's good. I think if Israel exists, its existence should be accepted because there is nothing in fighting. And if you fight an enemy like Israel, there is no fun, right? If a country like Pakistan fights India, India is now one of the most powerful military nations of the world. I mean, there is no fun, right? I mean, they can never gain, they can never win. In the same way, Hamas, Palestinians, or all these 56 Arab nations, they put together can't defeat Israel. So it's not a question of defeating or winning. It's a question of humaneness. Jews are also humans, Muslims are also humans, whether Shias or Sunnis. So I think whether it is Judaism or Islam, both the religions and their scriptures and their texts say that we are humans. Let us stay with humaneness. We have come, Allah or our God has actually left us, has brought us on this earth to help each other, not to kill each other, not to maim each other. So that message should go from both the sides. But at present, it is terror, it is disaster. I do not know, जिसको कहते हैं कि भाई घूमे मेरे खाक, it might not turn into the next world war, third world war, or whatever you can, because things are uh, things have just started, right? And Israeli Prime Minister has already said that we'll finish Hamas, will teach them a lesson, so that for ages they don't even think of doing all this?
So, would I be right in understanding? Just help me understand that Hamas is a banned terrorist organization. Am I right in understanding that?
Yes, you are
So,
right.
so when Hamas, which is a banned terrorist organization, attacks on Israel, where are the Palestinian forces? Why they attacked Israel on behalf of Palestine? So I feel it's going to be very detrimental for Palestine because the sympathy which should have come to Palestine is not going to come to Palestine anymore now.
Absolutely. See,
So
Hamas and Palestine are two different uh, identities. They should not be clubbed together. But at present, for strategic reasons, people are clubbing them together, unfortunately. And Hamas has been wreaking havoc upon Arabs also, right? Even in sorry, in places like Gaza, in places like Gaza itself. So this is undoubtedly a terrorist organization, and Palestinians should distance themselves from what we call Hamas, because Hamas, the very existence of Hamas is it aims at the annihilation of Jews, of Israelis, of Zionism. Annihilation of whether it is Jews or Muslims by someone, it cannot happen, and it should not happen. Why should it be that way? So Hamas has made the mistake of a lifetime, right? And this mistake can actually be not only uh, horrifying for these people, but the entire Middle East and maybe the entire Asia, maybe the world. Uh, God forbid people were thinking that Ukraine, Russia might also come into point. But uh, that did not, right? However, however, this might, you see a country like, rather I should say countries like Russia and China, they are silent. Right? Uh, India has supported Israel, rightly so, because India never supports any kind of heinous, disastrous activity, terror, because India has suffered a lot of the hands of terrorists. Most importantly. And as far as Pakistan is concerned, I don't know why their president immediately,
your
uh,
voice isn't
you know,
coming loud enough. So I'll just try adjusting the volume from the side. Your voice
just a minute.
isn't coming loud enough, sir.
Should I should I speak at a louder
Yeah, no,
volume?
no, 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 it's fine. Now it's better, sir. Now it's better.
It's better.
Yes, it's better,
All
sir.
right, you can always edit, if you want. Anyway, what I was saying is that Prime Minister Modi has rightly supported Israel in their, testing and trying times, in their difficult times, right? Because a country like India never supports any act of terror, whether it is from Hamas or it is from any other country. India has also been instructing Russia not to bombard Ukraine for more than a year, right? Uh, so, but what I was saying was, unfortunately, the president of Pakistan has clearly stood on the side of Hamas. They, in fact, they could have said that there should be talks between Hamas and between Israel, between Palestinians and Israelis. But to say that you support Hamas means you are siding with terrorism. And last part of your answer is, it was, I think, in the 8th century, if I am just a minute. No. Uh, yes, after the advent of Islam, in the 800th year, it was Imam Ghazali. Hazrat Imam Ghazali said, and at that time also there was some acts of terror on the part of some wayward Muslims. Though Islam is a religion of peace, the very term, Islam means that yes, we have to submit and peace be upon you. When we do salam to each other. So, Major Shah, finally, what I would say is that uh, you know uh, India should take lead. India also tried to take lead, did take lead to finish this Ukraine-Russian war. But anyway, something lacked. But at this time, I believe India should form a committee of you know army experts like you know uh, your father yourself, the pride of the nation, a proud soldier of the country. He can actually be a member, or he can actually lead some kind of a contingent from India for peace, right? Many other people who have fought at the border who understand war, right? So, in fact, India should now try to create peace between Israel and the Arabs, because India's relationships with both the parties are marvelous. These are excellent.
Right, sir. So that is that you have cleared a lot of perspectives, which or a lot of things which were there in my mind. A lot of doubts you have cleared in my mind, sir. So just tell me one thing, one last thing before we let you go. So this war between Israel and Palestine has been on for over hundreds of years. In fact, over 100 years. In fact, right from the end of 19th century to mid 20th century, and then further on to 1917. If we take it further on to 947, 49, there was a massive war. Then there have been a lot of pacts, a lot of agreements, a lot of nations have come forward to get them together. There was, an, I would talk about the two-state theory. I would talk about the Oslo Pact. I would talk about in 1979 also UN came together to get them together. But so far, no solution has been reached. Why do you think no solution has been reached so far, sir, despite so many efforts?
All right. Yes, it's a good question. Right. See, solution will never be reached when politics enters uh, these kind of matters. All right. Now war is a part of business and uh, the dirt and filth of that kind of politics. So, there are some countries that have to sell their weapons, whether it is United States or these are certain NATO nations, right? Or whatever it is. It can be China also, Russia also are, under this ambit. However, however, what is the tragedy of the world is that uh, those people who have been fighting for hundreds of years, right? Whatever you call it, in the name of Jews or Muslims, or maybe Palestinians or Israelis, whatever you call. Uh, I mean, it must now stop. And in fact, countries, uh, but it will not stop because the countries like USA, China, Russia, and many other countries, they have their vested interest in it. They will never let peace to dawn on this area, right? There is oil, right? They have their eyes on oil, and then apart from that, Iran is another entity. Uh, the nuclear arm, the nuclear uh, arms on the part of uh, you know Iran. All these things, when they get together, they will not let peace be a permanent, uh, you know, thing in that area. Uh, you must remember, some years ago, I think, this uh, Khamenei of, the head of Iran, he said that we want to obliterate Israel from the map of India. So these kind of statements should never and ever be delivered because he can't do it. And why should any nation be obliterated from the map of the world, right? So one should be very controlled, one should be very balanced, and one should not let such kind of diatribes, uh, to be slipping from one's mouth, because these uh, actually make the situation worse. And finally, I believe, uh, you know, this will escalate, and this might spread. It might spread to other, bordering Middle East countries, maybe Jordan, maybe Lebanon, maybe Syria is already there. Maybe it might go up till Iran. What might happen tomorrow? No one knows. We can only pray to God that uh, the war should not escalate. Rather, it should placate, it should come down, and whatever human loss on both the sides has taken place. Hundreds of Israelis have been dead. I think thousands of Palestinians have also been dead, and many more are there. So, I mean, this butchery, this demonizing in the name of war or country or territory, whatever it is, it must now stop, and it is a duty of the big brothers like USA, like Russia, like China, and even India into that, and many other countries, including Turkey, to stop it. Because if it becomes or unfortunately the third world war, nobody, neither you nor I nor these countries will be safe. So let us pray that it should not increase.
So thank you so much for clearing so many doubts and speaking your mind, sir. Completely, it really, I've learned so much. It helped me to understand better, and for my next television panel discussions, I think I'll get more inputs. This discussion has been very very helpful, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And before we let you go, sir, one last question I would like to ask you. This is not related to Israel and Palestine. So, how is it growing up as Maulana Abul Kalam's grand nephew, sir?
See, basically, as far as Maulana Azad was concerned, he was a man of peace. I'll give you one example of his. You know, after India got freed from the clutches of the Firangis, one English, I think it was from Guardian, I do not know, some English newspaper journalist came to him. He said, Maulana Sahab, Pakistan has now been created. What are your views on it? Uh, because he knew that earlier it was Maulana who never wanted the vivisection of the Indian subcontinent. He said that Pakistan should never come into being, and if at all it comes into being, it will never be a happy state. But you know what he told that journalist? He told that journalist, now that Pakistan is a truth, it is a reality. I want that people there should be happy, it should prosper. He was such a large hearted man, right? In the same way, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad had a worldview, right? And that worldview was, in fact, he got restricted to being the Minister of Education. But Sasab, let me tell you that his vision of the world was that at that time in early 1950s, mid 1950s, he wanted to see India in as the leader of the world so far as uh, the peace situation was concerned. In 1948, when there was this tussle between Palestine and Israel, in fact, what he said was, in fact, what was very sensible. And same thing which I also said a couple of minutes ago, that Jews are also humans, Palestinians are also humans. Allah has created both these people and sent them onto the earth not to kill and maim each other, but to help each other in whatever way possible. So this was his message, and this is a universal message not only for India, Pakistan, China, but for the entire humanity. That is that and in other words, what we call today is Vasudev Kutumbakam. We have to live from that feeling of Vasudev Kutumbakam, and we have to see that no human is affected. Not only human, what to talk of human, no animal, no bird, no tree, no leaf is actually affected, and is the it suffers in any way on account of war.
Sir. Sir, sincerely, thank you so much for taking your time, sir. Truly appreciate. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Jai Hind, sir.
Finally, let me tell you one thing that
Yes.
uh, uh, as far as I gave you one suggestion. It should reach the government. Why? Why? Because we all want peace. General Zamiruddin Shah, is a highly respected, highly regarded uh, soldier, right? And he should come forward on what way, and he should suggest Prime Minister Modi that Prime Minister Modi should also, as he is now Prime Minister number one of the world, he should form a committee of people. Right? You have people like uh, your father and many other generals who have served the nation. They should, in fact, try to, uh, you know, uh, try to go to countries like USA, countries like Palestine, countries like Israel, and bring peace. I think this is what we can think in this scenario.
Right, sir. Sir, true, sir. True. Sir, thank you so much, sir. It's been such a delight speaking to you, sir. Always a delight speaking to you. Jai Hind, sir.
Salute you. Thank you. Bye. See you.
Bye, sir. Good night, sir.